Good, Rajiv.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Michael. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Hi, everyone. Nice to see you all on this somewhat nice-ish, was it Wednesday evening?
Wednesday.
Wow, it's Wednesday already. Damn, this week just flew by, didn't it? Yeah, so what do? I do reputation repair. If the words on my, Zoom background is any clue, peace of mind is yours to claim. How do you get that peace of mind? Because of our reputation management and reputation repair services. And just to make a small distinction between the two, reputation management is about building or establishing a reputation. How do you do that? You can do it in a variety of ways, like something as simple as having a nice looking website that works, that is easy to use, is device agnostic, etc. Having good content on that website, as well as on relevant social media platforms like LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook, YouTube, etc. And also being seen prominently again on relevant platforms. So if you want to be, if you want to enjoy a good reputation, you typically want your ideal customer to find you easily when they are in search of services that you provide. Namely, what do I mean by this? Being seen uh, easily on page one of Google or page one of YouTube, etc. So that's reputation management. Reputation repair, on the other hand, is when we're all good people and when we get attacked by haters, all that sludge just gets left online, and that sometimes gets connected to our names or our businesses' names when people Google us. And what we do is delete. Yes, you heard me. Delete all that stuff from Google. Why? Because if left alone, that stuff can sow seeds of doubt or discord in our target audience's mind, which could erode the goodwill that we've spent years and years to build. So that's what we do. We delete bad press from Google and delete bad reviews from Google, Facebook, and Amazon. And my ask is to be introduced to people like Mark, who does amazing detective work. I just learned that pre-branding detective. That's what my takeaway was. Who work in that space. So people that work in branding, corporate communications, PR, compliance would be great introductions and referrals to me. And please connect with me. I'd love to have a conversation with you to find out more about what you do so that I can figure out who I can introduce you to. Thanks again for the opportunity.
I have a question. Rajiv, how do you actually get Google to take the content down?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it's basically, most people think that it's hacking and it's not hacking. We're essentially attacking the problem from two sides. We're attacking it on the one side from Google by requesting for that link to be removed from their search index so it doesn't appear in the search result. That's on the one side. And on the other side, we're working with the publisher to have that content removed by making the case that it's, inflammatory, libel, or whatever, saying that they're, muddying somebody's good name. And of course, there's a certain payment involved, and that payment typically goes to cover the man hours that it takes to find that story on the server and then get it removed. So the outcome could be one of a few. It could be either you don't see the link on Google, or if you see the link, you click it and it's a blank page, or you click it and you see 404 error, which means the page has been removed. So those are some of the outcomes that include the, having the bad stuff removed.
I think you could also have it de-indexed, right? So that it's no longer, so the next time it crawls, it's no longer listed.
Correct.
Yeah, but I guess I think I misunderstood what you were saying earlier. We do search engine marketing as well and SEO for 20 years. So it sounded like at first you were saying that you make it disappear, but you're basically negotiating for its disappearance.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Yeah. And we offer a performance guarantee, which means that if, let's say, the outcome is not delivered in our forecasted time frame, which is typically 60 to 90 days, then the client gets their money back, no questions asked.
That's cool. All right, thank you.
Yeah, you should talk about that because it's a very specialized capability. So Bryce, you're up. Whoops, I don't hear you. You're not
Hear me now?
muted though. Yeah,
Yeah, I turned my headset off. It's just easier than mute it all the time. So my name is Bryce Wade, VP of Sales for a marketing company. We do mostly organic search in a variety of different ways. We also have a very powerful technology that helps companies save money on their PPC for search engine marketing. I've talked to Nikki about that a couple times. And we've
cat wants your attention. Yeah.
Right now we're actually targeting service-based industries. I'm specifically targeting not marketing companies, roofing companies, because they have very high ticket sales for basically all of their jobs. And we took a number of our products and basically put them together to create a package which we named the Domination Package. And so we're selling that quite well right now, actually, because it's pretty powerful and basically taking over the search rankings for a city specifically. So I mean, I've shared news SEO previously on the TRN here, and we connected that with a couple of our other systems, and yeah, it's doing really well. So we're going to be targeting roofing companies. So if anybody knows a roofing company that they're connected to, we can take over the internet for them in their city.
That's great. Would lawyers like personal injury lawyers be a similar good target to you?
It works for literally everybody. I'm just personally targeting roofers right now. But yeah, if we took all three of these systems, and actually, so we have drop pin SEO, which is for service-based industries. So we wouldn't use that one specifically, but the news SEO coupled together with our other backlink structures just absolutely destroy everything. Because the news SEO basically goes out to between 400 and 600 news sites per cycle, and you can do that up to 4 times per month. So if you do that at maximum speed, it destroys everybody to the point where there's the whole front page of Google is taken over by content about the client.
And particularly good for local focus, right?
No, we're using it for national as well.
National
So,
and local, okay.
Yeah. So there's a public company as an example that wanted to be more known for like the types of stuff that they were doing. So instead of just making a press release, we did news about what they were doing, right? And an easy example is that do you like Rajiv mentioned reputation repair, right? So person that needs reputation repair does a charitable donation, and you blow that out of proportion to all the news sites. Oh wow, this guy did such amazing stuff, and then you have 400 different news articles about this guy doing something special. So you can use it in a variety of ways, but the ultimate result, if you do it often enough, is you take over the search results for a variety of keywords.
Very cool. Nikki. No, I'm sorry. If you want to order, I'm sorry. I said I would go in order, so it would be Mark next. T-Ball.
Hi, Mark Thibault here. As Michael said, we're working on a project. I'm working it for free, but I think that Laurel actually will make this project work, and I think he'll raise some money. So yes, if you can put him in touch with anybody that will help him raise money, that would be great. I have a few people in mind too. And meantime,
I'm not sure everybody was on the call when you explained or when we were talking.
Oh, okay. Laurel is working on a program that effectively is like a sports Facebook. So the gist of it is that it's for athletes, it's for student athletes and alumni, and basically what they do is they rate the schools based on the athletic programs, and at the same time they're also looking for jobs, because many student athletes don't have the opportunity as much as they would like to look for jobs while they're being athletes. So that's more or less the gist of it. So anyway, he's looking to raise money, and he's also looking to revamp his website, and Michael's working on that. And so anybody have any information there? I'm also working for free on another client. She's actually pretty interesting. She's 19 years old. She's going to graduate from college with a 4-year degree. She's going to med school.
Wow.
But her project is a specialty hand cleaning project that's fully encased that you rub it together and it comes apart. And she wants to do it in the third world, but I think it also has application for first responders and possibly in hospitals here. And, so we're working through that, and I'm helping her actually, right now build a customer question set. She wants to build a vendor question set, but I told her she probably shouldn't do that until she actually has some experience. So she has some prototypes, and we're gonna start on that next. In fact, I'm talking to her on Saturday about finalizing that. So that'll be pretty cool.
Those are both as a mentor for a startup program at
Yes.
Florida University.
Well, one is, yes, and actually they're both at FAU, but I do have some other projects going, and occasionally I get a few pieces here and there. So, but it's been good. It's been a good summer. Plus, I got to teach digital storytelling, which is something new for me. I mean, I've done it before. I've worked it before, and I know something about it. But it was actually a lot of fun. It was different than SEO and web analytics.
Great, thank you. Let's see, Stacy, you're up.
Hi. So my name is Stacy Mathis, and I own a website called Legal Copywriting Central. And basically what we do is we write copy for lawyers, for law firms. We primarily work with established lawyers, established law firms. And the great thing is lawyers are starting to realize that they need to, I don't know why they didn't realize this before, but that they've got a lot of competition, and they've got to do something about sounding different than from their competitors. They all sound the same. If you go to their websites, they all say the same thing. They talk about their credentials. And we basically help them understand, that you have to make it about your client. It is not about you. And we do that by changing the copy on their website, researching their competitors to see how they differ, what makes them unique. And despite, the fact that they may have all gone to the same school and all have the same, similar backgrounds, there is something unique about them. And we find that there's a core difference that they all have, and we dig that out. And then we flesh that out in their website copy, their brochures, or whatever it is that they use, whatever wording they use, whether it's video scripts, anything they use to market their business and promote themselves. We do that, and it comes out in that text. So yeah, that's pretty much all, that's what we do.
I wonder, Stacy, if there's opportunities. I don't know if you work with any personal injury lawyers. And the reason I bring it up is because they tend to be more open to aggressive advertising.
Yes.
But that, a very high ticket item, of course, they're suing somebody for millions of dollars and they get a third of it. That might be a good fit for some of Bryce's capabilities.
Okay.
So you guys,
sorry.
You guys might want to connect, if somebody is searching for a personal injury lawyer in the New York area or in wherever.
Yes.
Some of those services that he's offering could be a good fit, I think, right, Bryce? I mean, I don't know, Bryce, you'd have to talk to Stacy about it.
Yeah, definitely, because we're a traffic deliverer. So if you have the content that's actually going to convert, you need more traffic to see it.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Sure. I'll do you have a scheduler?
I do. I will send that to you.
Sure. Sounds good.
Wonderful. Okay. Nikki.
Hi, I'm Nikki Fielding. I'm the president of Digital Brand Expressions, and we're an agency that works with middle market and Fortune 500 companies when they have particular challenges with their search and social, and they know that they need to make some changes in order to improve performance. So we have a very structured process that we work with our clients through. We're looking for clients that are B Corps or other companies that can really prove that they're working to make the world better. whether they do that directly with their products and services. One of our clients is a robotics company that has a robot that sits on your counter and distributes up to 16 prescription doses a day and provides an alert if a dosage is missed. So their original market was for caregivers of Alzheimer's patients. So clearly that's helping to make the world better. We'll also work with companies that may not be able to show directly that their products and services are focused on a mission, but that they have social responsibility programs that they can demonstrate they are actively trying to help the world. So again, most of the clients are middle market, Fortune 500. They're already doing search and social. They have quantifiable goals. They're not hitting their goals. We've been doing this for 20 years. If you take a look at our website, you'll see the kinds of clients that we're working with. I'll drop the link to the website in the chat.
Thank you. And Nikki's based in the Princeton, New Jersey area, correct?
Mhm. Yeah.
Nikki, so what's the ask? Like, who would you like to be introduced to?
If someone is director or up in a middle market company or a Fortune 500, and they've got challenges and they can articulate, we need our cost per click to be X, or, we were on the first page of Google. We don't have any idea what's happened. Our current team has tried everything they know to fix that. It's not working. It's typically, they literally have some problem to fix, and whomever they're working with can't seem to figure it out. So we ask our referrers to listen for the complaint, because history shows we're going to be able to fix it. For example, we'll work with companies on their Google Analytics as part of the first part of our process. So we do an audit, and we're looking for things that we can fix for them, or most companies are using Google Analytics, but it could be Adobe, it could be whatever they're using to track results, and we'll realign the tracking with what they state their goals are. So part of our process is getting them to articulate the goals so we can restructure their tracking, as an example. And just last week, another agency called us, and they were working on something Google Analytics unhooked. And they spent a week and a half trying to figure out what happened. And my team came in, and in an hour, we figured it out and put them out. So that's how we start out. But, most of these initiatives, most of our clients are, typical. We just charge fees. We don't charge a commission on media. So we pay referrers, like the folks here in TRN, we pay 10% of whatever income we generate from that client in the first year. So once the client, the referral becomes a client, the clock starts ticking, and it's 10%. So if you refer something in and it starts out as a $50,000 assessment and recommendations project, and then we turn that into a retainer program where they're paying us, $250,000, it doesn't matter what it is, you're getting 10% of the income.
So that means the 10% is on the monthly retainer for that period of time?
Yeah. Yeah, and the initial
project.
project. So whatever, so, and also it's germane to say our projects typically run, the first phase are all constructed projects to get the client from, we don't know what we want to do, to us rebuilding the programs. That's phase 3. That can be, 50,000 to 100,000. And then from there, once they become a retainer client, a small retainer client for us would be $60,000, $80,000 a year. The more substantial ones are the, $250,000 is pretty much in the ballpark. And I love referrals because it makes my job easy. I'm not a salesperson. I don't like to go chasing people and try to convince them. But if somebody says, oh my gosh, these guys are the bomb, they hit the ball out of the park every time, which we do, then I'm just explaining to people how we can help them.
And Nikki and her team are great. So
Thank you.
and while we're in Princeton, Victor Lee is also in the Princeton area.
Hi, neighbor.
Hi, neighbor.
So I actually, this is a good segue from Nikki's discussion. So what I do basically is look for situations like Nikki's and then try to find the other side of the transaction. So I try to leverage my network to understand what, oops, is that me?
You seem to be, yeah, an echo of some sort.
Huh. All right, let's see if it continues. Oh, it went away for now. So I try to find, I try to find, people who are really good at what they do, like Nikki and, basically everybody else on this call, and either find opportunities for them. But the other interesting thing, I think, is that, everybody on this call is basically a super connector, and we all have day jobs, but at the same time, we also, the folks on this call come across interesting and weird opportunities that they don't necessarily know what to do with. And that's where I come in. What I often do is find those situations and then try to find the other side of that transaction. So for example, I'm working with Rajiv on a project that's in fantasy sports, right? And I'm working with Bryce on another project that's in construction, commercial construction. And so if I can find situations in my network that can, fill the other side of that, then we can all benefit. So I know a number of folks on this call. I've had conversations with them about situations that I'm looking at to see whether they're aware of opportunities, because then if there's somebody like 1 or 2 degrees away, then something can happen. So I'd be happy to have a chat with anybody. I think I've spoken to just about everybody on this call at least once, but I would love to have a maybe a follow-up call, because I've come across some new opportunities, and these are the kinds of things that I can put on the table. There's one, for example, where there's a guy who's he's involved in scent marketing, and so he can make like waiting rooms. He can make people calmer. So he's looking for doctors' offices, dentists' offices, other healthcare facilities. So we found some situations for him. But I'd be happy to sit down with anybody on the call and just have a catch up. And then you can either say, oh yeah, my brother-in-law, my next door neighbor, runs a chain of dentist offices. And then we can put the deal together. So it's really, it's fun. I'm really just looking for interesting situations and seeing if I can complete the transaction, and then we all come out ahead. So it's Victor Lee. Happy to chat with everybody here and have a catch-up call. And let's see if we can't do some business together.
Sounds good. And my brother's a doctor. Maybe he'll want to test that out.
Okay, there we go.
Primary care physician.
Excellent.
All right.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
and
it.
Victor, I actually have some updates on the project we were talking about. So let's have a follow-up call next week.
Okay, yeah, that would be good, Bryce. All right, thanks.
And moving further north into New Jersey, Scotch Plains, I believe, Ken Simon.
Hi there. Yes, I am in north central New Jersey, I guess. I'm not sure. But anyway, Ken Simon, I do B2B marketing. I work with small and mid-sized companies, helping them understand who their clients are, what industries they're going after, and then develop strategies for them to use to go develop demand generation programs, engagement programs, campaigns, depending on what they need, also what products and services to offer. I have a question. I'm going to throw this out because I had a meeting the other day with somebody, and I'm not exactly sure what to do with this information. And maybe the collective brain power here could tell me whether this is a good idea or not. I met this guy who he's a programmer by trade or developer, and he decided he was trying to figure out for influencer marketing who were the best people to use, or what. So he was going against Twitter. So him being a programmer, he put together a couple of servers and started collecting millions and millions of tweets. And then he went through each one of those tweets and more or less saw, like, if he looked at me, he saw who I was connected to. And through a bunch of sorting and whatever, he could figure out who are the most, if you have 1 million people on your list, on your Twitter, who are following you on Twitter, maybe out of that 1 million people, only 1,000 people are important. And then what he'll do is create a targeted ad on Twitter that'll go to those 1,000 people for whatever product or service you're offering. And and it's more or less creating demand, but then they could also retweet it too. So, it then goes out to their followers. But, and he could do that for just about anything.
Just
And
on Twitter?
on Twitter, Instagram.
Oh,
But it's a very, he's like trying to figure out, he's already like talking to casinos because he could look at stuff in real time and figure out where someone is. So if you're like in the mall and you quote, you say like, oh, just went to Starbucks, it's Starbucks, blah, blah, blah. Even though it doesn't have any geolocation, the fact that you put it in Starbucks there when you did it probably meant that you were at a Starbucks. So then they could serve up an ad.
On Twitter or Instagram.
Twitter, on Instagram, right, to you right then and there.
yeah, I should be talking to like social media marketing companies. They'd love all that.
Right. Yeah, there's a couple people in TRN that focus on social media marketing, and you could find them.
I was like listening to this. It was like this guy. He says like I have like 10 servers all around the country collecting all this stuff, and it's like he doesn't know what to do with it all. He says he's been talking to companies or whatever, but so I've been I was talking to him, but
I think the thing to do would be do a trial with somebody who's willing to spend the money on ads, of course, and see what type of results they get, and then promote those results.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going. I was actually have another meeting with him because he has some reports he wants to go over with me. But I just was like, it was something like, it was like, this is what happens when people have not had time on their hands because of the coronavirus.
But yeah, I think it's a capability.
Cool
Yeah, it's a capability similar to what Mind of a Marketer is doing. So I think your best focus would be companies that do social media marketing to enhance what they offer.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they'll also know what you can get from Twitter and Instagram through their own, directly through their services in terms of targeting. And if this does it at a much higher level, then that makes them all that much more powerful, so to speak, on behalf of their clients.
Yeah. Okay. What, Bryce?
What do you think of this, Nikki? Because you do a lot of active marketing in PPC, because this sounds like it would be useful for somebody like you as well.
Nikki?
Sorry?
What do you think of that capability? Because that sounds like it would be useful for companies like yours that do active marketing for PPC as well.
I think you're asking Nikki, was it?
I'm sorry. Okay. Go ahead, Nikki.
You're on mute. Nikki, you're on mute.
I'm sorry, I thought we were talking to Stacy.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I was talking to you, Nikki. Sorry.
Here I go. I think it's interesting. I'd like to learn more about it, Ken, because there are other tools like that out there. So I'd like to know more about how this one's different.
He was like telling me like he's just done a couple of industries, but he's like trying to become more B2B. He also does it for like financial planners. And because his background originally was in the financial industry, and so he's like trying to do it for B2B as well. So he just needs to change a couple of things in his what data he's collecting. Then it would take him a couple of weeks once he starts collecting the data to be able to sort through everything and figure out who if you had like CNA or like AIG or Prudential, tweeting stuff out about whatever product they're purchasing or they're promoting at that time, they could see how he could more or less follow the trail of who retweets that and who links to Prudential and whatever, and then figure out who the most important people are within that realm to market to.
So his thought would be to watch these people for some period of time, bubble up who the key influencers are, the people who other people are paying attention to would be what I would want to say.
That's what he does, yeah.
Right, okay. And then the next question would be, what does he want to do with those influencers? That's one of my key questions. If he knows who they are, if someone is able to talk specifically about a top topic. Let's just use health and beauty because it's just, people kind of,
Right.
let's say somebody's there's a topic around a new type of organic shampoo. And there are a lot of people talking about it, and you bubble up the people who are talking about it a lot, and other people are listening to them. Then the next question is, well, what are you going to do with the advertising? If you want to find those influencers and advertise to them, is the idea then that because I'm an influencer on that topic and you have that shampoo, then you want me to talk about your product and you'll incentivize me? So is the key here that he's looking for ways to spread the message about a certain brand exponentially by identifying the influencers and then compensating them for talking about the brand?
Well, it could go either way. It depends on what the company would want. I mean, he's more or less the facilitator with the, he'll supply the data, then the client would have to figure out what they want to do with it. So
that's the bug, right? As marketers,
So,
we know.
but right, I understand it. But what you could do is you could do it two different ways. Like if you're an influencer or whatever, you could say like if you create an ad and you post it on the Instagram, or the Twitter feed of that influencer, saying like if you click on this, you get a coupon. You get a 20% off coupon for this. You don't have to pay the influencer.
Yeah, you know what I think, honestly, Ken, I know you're just trying to help him and you're just coming into it, but it sounds like he's probably, as a programmer, I think he's going to need to work with a marketing consultant who can ask him the kinds of questions that the people he thinks he might want to pitch this to are going to ask, so that it could really be buttoned up, because it sounds like there's something in this, but you want to find out how is it unique and what are other people saying to those potential bigger agencies, et cetera.
Right. I just like Cam. I mean, I spent an hour with him the other day, and it was like I'm still trying to get my head wrapped around what it is and what he had. I
think social media marketing and in particular influencer marketing people who do this for a living might be able to.
You're going to have to be able to articulate it really succinctly so that you can get in the door. Yeah. Otherwise, it sounds like everything else is out there, right? So I think he needs somebody. No, I think he needs somebody who can help him pull it together so he can go to those agencies and have a message that they can quickly.
Right. It would have to be a friendly agency to start with. If you that's why I think somebody on TRN might be a good place to start. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna with him again, but I'll see where it goes the next time, and then I'll see what then I'll reach out to you, Michael, to figure out who.
Sure. I mean, you could certainly go directly on TRN and look under social media marketing. There's a couple of people there. Yeah. And so I will, I didn't leave anybody out, right? So obviously you all know me. I'll tell you a little bit about what's some of the connections that I've made recently. Just today, I got a request from Howard Levy, who was looking for somebody to do some technical work across sort of a broad range of platforms, but it was like bits and pieces. And the first person I thought of was Sharon Shanzer, who's what I call the Jane of all trades. She actually has a pretty broad capability set, both technically and in design, and she's willing to do that in different areas. So hopefully that'll be a good lead for her. Probably a small job. I got another lead from someone who's in a different network of mine. I don't think she's in the trust referral network, who does social media marketing. Lauren Nemiroff, who works for, or her name is now Lauren Rod. She works for Spark, and she has a client who has a tattoo shop and a Wix website. Wix is sort of a do-it-yourself website platform. And typically my teams don't work on those platforms because they're mostly very small companies that are doing it themselves. But he wants to add a shop, and I have a team who's willing to sort of see if they can help him out. So, it'll be a small job, but it might be, it might open up new opportunities.
Maybe you can get a free tattoo out of this, Michael.
I might be able to get a free tattoo. Exactly. Trusted referral network on my chest. And I, of course, with the logo colors, the correct logo colors. And then I actually had a call with somebody who is a producer of live events. And I was telling her about, I invited her to TRN. Hopefully she'll show up at some of the meetings. But I was telling her about my 3D rendering company and that they do a lot of work in architecture. And she says, oh, that would be great, because a lot of times they have to get 3D renderings of an event space, you know, like a hotel event space, so they can show the client how it will be transformed for their event. So I'll probably be doing a small presentation to her group, but if people know other event production companies or trade show people that build design and build trade show booths, you could do it. Certainly, you could do it hand drawn, but this level of detail and flexibility that you have with 3D rendering sort of takes it up to a much higher level, and it's not really much more expensive, if at all.
Michael, can I ask
Yes.
you, because I might have somebody on that. So what you showed us was like a coffee table or something, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm going to
that's-
show you. I'll show you a couple other things.
Yeah.
If I
'Cause
can.
this sounds like a different sort of application as opposed to just objects.
Yeah, it's more space, but you'll see, I'll show you some of the work they do in this with space. Just give me a second or two. Event space examples. Okay. So, I mean, they've done a lot of hotels and event spaces and things like that. I'm opening up and I will share this. Okay, so this is one of their pieces. This is a bar, right, in a hotel space. So they don't do specifically for events, but this is a bar in a hotel space.
How much of that? How much of this is real versus
None of it?
rendered?
It's all virtual. It's all rendered.
Okay, the walls, everything.
All rendered. Yeah. Now, some of it might exist already. In other words, this might have been done for somebody who had a blank space and wanted to see what they could do with it, right? Or maybe there was a bar there. I don't know the context. There maybe was a bar there and they want to tear it down and refurnish it or whatever. So oftentimes you're starting with a basic core or a frame, and then you want to see what you could do with it. So a lobby, this is another type of lobby, obviously. So you might actually come up with different ideas for the same space, dining space, smaller lobby. And you can see this is very, very highly rendered, very realistic looking. I mean, clearly if you focus in, you'll see where it differs from a photograph. But the capabilities are just tremendous. Here's when you have people, I mean, they tend to look pretty flat, right? But that's if you zoom in. So anyway, looking for people that design trade show booths, physical spaces, particularly if I need to know what it's going to look like before I invest and I want to change some things around.
Michael, yeah, I think I might have a good connection for you. Her name is Wendy Hugh. She's an experiential like event producer.
Okay.
So I think she might be a good person to connect with. There's also someone else.
Wendy Hugh, HU, is it?
HU, yeah, Wendy Hugh.
Okay.
You'll find her pretty easily on LinkedIn. I'm happy to do like the LinkedIn introduction. She's pretty active. Another person is Jim Su, who does these kind of like hotel spaces, like the lobby of a hotel, like he designs that kind of stuff. So
HSU, Jim Su, HSU, is it?
No, SU.
SU, okay.
But I don't know if he's on LinkedIn. Might be on Facebook, but I'll try to get a hold of him and maybe do like a text intro.
That'd be great.
Yeah. And if there's anyone else,
interesting. One is who and one is Sue. That's
Michael is bringing the funny today.
just stood out there. Okay. Like who's on first, right? Any other like stories about introductions, connections that
Michael,
you want
Are
to?
you still sorry, can I ask you, are you still looking for companies to introduce to TRN?
Absolutely. Looking to expand it. Yeah. So I mean, Wendy might be a good, fit. She might be interested. I haven't.
So I don't necessarily mean members, but I mean, remember at one point you were bringing companies on?
To sell their services? Not
Yeah.
really. Not really. No.
No, okay,
Yeah. That I put on the back burner
okay.
just because too many things to manage.
Okay.
But
And,
thank you for that.
And Michael, like I sort of like keep asking you this at every available opportunity, and I hate to sound like a stuck gramophone record, but if you could kind of like give us an update on like you said something about like creating groups that are either industry specific or geographically specific, some like any updates
Yes,
there?
chapters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
chapters.
it's still in my to-do list. I think right now part of the focus is the website. I perhaps spread myself too thin sometimes. I'm also working on a couple of consulting gigs. So yeah, I have that definitely on my to-do list. And if you're, I think you mentioned that you might be interested.
Oh, absolutely. I'm definitely interested.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think the whole sort of infrastructure can be well suited for that. And it gives people a tighter knit group, whether it be locally or industry, et cetera. So any other connections people have made that they want to highlight, be it with other people here or just other people, in TRN or other potential introductions. And by the way, Ken, you and I need to get together for coffee. We're literally probably a stone's throw away from each other.
Yeah, okay, let's.
You're in Scotch Plains, right?
Yeah, that's a mile away. I think where you live is like only about like 2 miles from me.
Yeah. I'm in Westfield and on the south side of Westfield, very close.
I'm on the south side of Scotch Plains, so
Is that New York or New Jersey?
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Bunch of
Right
us here
next-
from New Jersey. Yeah.
See, he's in Westfield. I'm in Scotch Plains. It's next to Edison. We're
Right.
playing. I'm like on the border of Plainfield, more or less,
Right.
where I live.
Right. Stacy, you're in New York?
I am. I was
Okay.
going to ask you, you spoke to Allison. Does it sound like she's going to be joining us?
I did give her some, I don't know. I did give her, the link to register to be guest, but
Okay.
haven't seen her, but ping her and find out if she's got some interest.
Oh,
I think she'd find it valuable.
I do too.
Anybody else? Comments, questions? Oh, I did come across something. Somebody gave me, God, I should find it. They referred me to a piece of software that writes content for you. And apparently it's much better than it used to be using AI. You give it subject matter. You know what I'm talking about?
I do. I just
Which-
read about it. I think
which-
on TechCrunch or somewhere. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I don't remember what it's called. I sort of read it cursorily,
Mhm.
but yeah, it has come a long way.
Right.
There are
Yeah,
actually
we're using it for
two.
SEO content.
What's that?
We're actually using it for SEO content. So
What's the
my
name of
business
it?
partner, there's one that we use a couple AIs together to make it really good. I'm actually trying to look for it, but I can't remember the name of it. I actually get because I went to the website, I get ads for them all the time now because they pixeled me. But I'll find it and I'll post it.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, Stacey.
I haven't tried it, but it looked inexpensive. Rajiv?
It's really good.
Yeah, I had kind of like a related question, and I think you might have mentioned this at an earlier meeting, Michael. Is there, and this is like a question to the group, is there any kind of technology out there that does like audio transcription, like essentially creating like a machine created voiceover?
Like Dragon Speak, you mean, used to?
No, it actually creates an audio file based on like text inputted into like a certain field or
Oh,
whatever.
so it's text to speech.
Right, right. But it kind of, I know that there are tools out there that you can select, like various accents and names like Australian, British, Indian, etc., male, female, but some of those tend to be like, you can make out it's a machine speaking. But I'm told that there are new kind of
Higher quality.
developments, yeah, where it's almost, like you can't tell.
Jarvis, yes, that's the name of the company. That's the name that does the AI content, Jarvis. I don't know. I mean, there are text to speech systems. I don't know, which ones are really good. I'm sure they're getting better. It's all about nuance and probably the AI, if there's AI, I assume there might be, and also computing power.
Yeah, so we took Jarvis and added another AI to it, added in a VA to it, and so the stuff that it writes is like really good for conversion content, and it's like 4 or 5 times the efficiency of hiring a writer to do it because
Wow.
you just push a button and it's dirt cheap. Like I did the math on it. It basically costs, like with all the other stuff that we added to it, like basically like $10 an article, and it's like
Wow.
a 1,000-word article.
Are you serious?
Yeah, no, it's really good stuff.
Wait, so are you making it like a SaaS product or something?
Yeah, eventually. So because that's what my business partner does. Like you guys are talking about, like doing cool stuff on downtime. It's literally what he does. So eventually, when it's actually ready, we're gonna have it as a service. Because what we do is we take the existing content, scan it, get the AI to write a bunch of stuff, then run it through an editor to make sure it actually sounds like a robot didn't write it, and then we use that to link to actual proper like written articles by an actual writer. So what happens from an SEO perspective is that the seed article gets super powered up by all this other content linking to it. And then you have all of this conversion content and ranking content on the website that Google sees all of it, says, wow, you guys make a ton of stuff. Have some ranks for free. So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So Bryce, like as far as what you just mentioned about like creating the content to power SEO or more powerful SEO, is that something that you make available right now to either clients or other agency partners? Because if the answer is yes, I'd love to have a conversation to know more about this.
Yeah, we basically just put it together like literally a month ago because we needed something to increase our content production for our clients for SEO. So we could probably have a conversation about that next week if you like.
Oh yeah, perfect. Did you?
Yeah, I think this is the beginning of a content boom. If you can produce content that cheap, and it's going to start flooding, the internet soon.
It already is. We're literally that's what literally we sell.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
it already is. I just saw Market Watch. Half the articles in Market Watch are all created by an AI.
Right. Probably.
And some of them, the editing is so dumb. Like, because they're clearly not edited properly, and that's what we added to it, right? Because the AI doesn't know all of the intricacies for like human speech for obvious reasons, because it's not a human, right? So if you add another couple components, so is it going to rank well? Yes or no? Okay, if it's not going to rank well, redo it AI, and then you have an actual editor just go and fix all of the small mistakes. Then it reads properly as well as being created for like a tenth of the cost.
Yeah, Stacy, you should look into this. Otherwise, you might get displaced.
Well, actually, you know what? It's funny that you say that. The one thing that it doesn't do is write copy. It writes content like blogs and articles and all of that stuff, but writing copy is a whole different animal. So I'm not worried about my job right yet.
Okay.
Yeah, she's 100% right. It absolutely does not do. If you want to sell something, don't use an AI.
Right. Yeah, Jarvis. I was told about Jarvis. I'm going to check it out, but yeah, I mean, Bryce, if you've got, I'd love to see how what it produces and see what the outcomes are.
Yeah, maybe Bryce could do like a showcase on that, because that sounds like,
there you go.
that sounds really interesting.
Sure.
All right, pick a date.
I will. When's then? Yeah, I guess for 2 weeks from now would be the next Wednesday.
The next available Wednesday is 2 weeks from now. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. We'll do that.
Oh, great. So you have the link, right? It's in the chat. It's on the top of the chat. It's also, the top of the sign up
I'll
zone.
paste it again in case Bryce didn't see it.
5:06 p.m. is when it went out. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions, comments? Nikki had to jump.
I think this has been like tremendously productive, and I hope that in future meetings there are similarly, it has similar attendance.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
that we
smaller,
can do
smaller
more
can
of
be
this.
better. Yeah, and you can make it more sort of free flowing.
Yeah, this has been
But
awesome.
always looking for more people to bring into the fold. So if people have recommendations, also in my email, I have a little blurb that you can email to people, to say, I'm part of this group and I think you might be interested. So thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thanks.
Take care.
Take care.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.